Hello.
So excited to...
Small-headed Steeeven here.
Small-headed Steeeven here. Those were awesome comments on the last episode.
Too many of them.
I really enjoyed reading them.
I didn't enjoy reading them, and there were too many for my liking.
We were both laughing.
Comment below that I've got a nice, normal-sized head, please.
Don't comment, but continue to talk about his massive head below. No. Okay, so we are on part 3 of our How We Met series. And this is the first date episode that you've all been asking for. Where's part 3? 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 I don't know what happened. Where's part 3?
So where we left off was you were trying to cancel on me again. I skillfully avoided your cancellation.
Right. So just a quick recap. I found out I had a table read the night before, so I called him and I was about to cancel again on our first date.
Yeah.
And I called him and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta work. And then I said, have you left? And he's like, yeah, I've left. And so I said, okay, well, we'll do this dinner. Find out 3 months, found out like a year later that he hadn't left. He's like, by the way, Laura, I was standing in my kitchen when you asked me that.
Standing in the kitchen.
But he knew.
I wasn't even dressed. I was just ready to pick up my clothes. I just had a nice shower. I was ready to go and pick up my clothes. My whole dog was with me, Sid, walking about.
Yep, and it worked. So, Steeven picks me up.
Yep.
And actually, if you remember, that was the first time that you saw me blonde.
Yes.
Because I had dark hair when we met.
Right.
Isn't that weird to think about? Because I feel like such a blonde. Even though like I dye my hair is like dark blonde naturally. It's like light brown, dark blonde naturally.
Yes.
And I make it lighter because I just feel like it works for me. But when we met, my hair was brown.
It was brown.
Yes. And then I booked a role. It was for an NBC pilot. And I was playing this vacant model, right? This really dumb, hungry model who...
Sound familiar?
Mm-hmm. That's kind of where the birth of Ivy happened, was on that show. I had the character before.
Just do a little bit of how she started off. Show them how she started off.
Like she just was the receptionist at this hair salon, and she spoke with a really monotone voice. And everyone would be like, Ivy, could you answer the phone? And I'd be like, what? Where's the phone? Have you eaten today? It's not even noon. I meant this week. No, not really.
And then you made her for that show, didn't you? You came up with that way of doing her like that, and everyone loved it.
Right, yeah. Because, I had come up with that character a long, long time ago, but that was the first time I got to take my character and put it on a show. Unfortunately, the show didn't get picked up. And it's sad, because it was the writer and creator of Sex and the City. His name's Michael Patrick King.
He's nice. I liked him when I met him that one time.
So nice. And it was like with Don Johnson, Ellen Barkin, Chris Crocker was in it. And that's how I met Chris, and that's how Chris and I are friends. Leave Brittany alone. You guys know Chris. And but anyway, that's okay. That's just the business. And I'm grateful in a way that show didn't get picked up, because if it had, I probably wouldn't have started to make my own content and create my own brand.
Right.
So the biggest kind of failures or letdowns in your past, if you look back.
Sometimes almost always. There's a reason for it.
You're like, oh, I'm really glad that shitty, horrible thing happened because it led me there.
Like when I went out with the girl who was the most boring girl on earth, and I was so upset, and then I thought I'd never ever find anyone who I liked ever again, and then we bumped into each other a couple of weeks later.
And then voila!
Voila! Anyway.
So Steeven picks me up and I come outside, and it was perfect because the network had sent me to this like amazing hair salon in Beverly Hills, and it took them like 9 hours to do my hair. It was kind of ridiculous.
That was another thing. I was thinking, you've already done the Alan Taxar thing. That was questionable. You cancelled on me 4 or 5 times, and now you're getting your hair done for 9 hours?
It wasn't my fault.
Who gets their hair done?
Because they were perfectionists. They wanted it to be the perfect blonde. Like, this is a huge show. This is a big deal. So they threw me in the salon, and I was there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours just getting every single piece right. And so that was that day.
You did send me some pictures, though. You sent me some pictures of you in the salon. I like those.
But no, the pictures...
They came in handy later.
No, don't even say that, because the pictures I sent you in the salon, I had my hair in foils
I know
like
you
that.
did. I remember those very well.
Ew.
Oh, I'm just saying.
You did not masturbate
Look,
over
I
those.
didn't have much to go on in those weeks where you kept abandoning me, so all the photos you sent were put to good use. Just know that.
That's really disturbing.
It's not disturbing.
I'm
It's just
super disturbed.
It's just normal for a
I cannot
single
believe
gentleman.
you masturbated over.
I don't know if you could say masturbated on YouTube.
Masturbate isn't a swear.
That's true.
It's very normal, guys.
Yes.
You can all masturbate. Don't
Well,
masturbate too much.
See, that's weird.
I think porn is probably not good for people.
I don't know how we got onto that.
But masturbate, use your imagination.
Use
Don't do it too much.
Or picture.
Or not even.
Picture that your a hopeful girlfriend sends you. That's all right.
Of her at a hair salon with foils in her hair.
No,
going,
there was that. There was the picture of you in at a styling and a different thing. And there was also, you sent me a couple of pictures.
All right,
Listen.
fine. Okay, fine. So it's not the first time you saw my hair blonde, because I had sent you a couple pictures.
You did, you dirty brute.
Not, they weren't dirty.
They weren't dirty at all.
They were just like,
in
hey,
my mind, though.
here's what. Ew,
Oh.
that's so gross.
Oh.
Like, I'm just learning more and more what a pervert.
Oh.
I thought
Sorry.
it was like an innocent.
It was innocent. Forget it. Just move on. Next thing we will talk about now.
You're disgusting.
You're disgusting.
No,
Now,
I'm not. I'm not the one masturbating over pictures
You're-
of you with your hair in foils.
You would if I sent them. They look very nice.
Absolutely, I would not.
You've never seen me with foils in my hair. How do you know how you'd react? You don't know what you'd do.
Anyway.
Yes. Anyway.
So, but I come outside and I'm looking fly. My hair's all perfect. I've got a nice dress on.
Yes.
And then he comes out, opens the door for me. And I said, so where are we going?
Yes.
And what did you say?
Well, I'd already booked a table at a certain place, and
What
all
was
the
the
way there,
place?
you kept. It was a fish restaurant.
It was Katsuya.
No, it wasn't.
Where?
It was Nobu.
Nobu.
Yeah.
A sushi place. Mind you, we're both vegan.
Well,
Mind you, he knew that.
I thought that you could still get
Did
vegetables.
you? Did
We
you
had
get that?
vegetables. We had
It was just-
vegetables.
It's a sushi place.
But it was nice.
But okay, so then what?
So then we go there. We'd already missed our table because
Why?
you kept saying you weren't ready, and I was on my way, calling the place, going, "We're going to be there in half an hour. We're going to be there in half an hour. We're going to be there in half an hour. Can you keep the table?" And then they said, "Well, you've lost the table, but you can sit next to the fish preparing place."
So we lost our table and we had to sit facing a bunch of fish.
Guys, chopping them
Yeah,
up.
chopping all these raw fish, which
Fish heads flying everywhere,
you know
and
what
guts.
I mean? Which
teeth.
for vegans is pretty traumatizing.
Traumatizing, yeah. So then we sit
So
down.
we spent the whole dinner just crying
Well, no, we
and
didn't.
praying for the fish.
Yeah, but also we sit down. This is a good first date. We sit down. Imagine if you sit down and your date goes, "Oh, I'm fevering. Oh, I'm very ill. Oh, I don't know."
I wasn't
how."
feeling very well.
I
I think it was a combination of just I was stressed about the show, and I for some reason just wasn't feeling that well. And so I remember I was like, "Oh,
Fevering.
I'm just fevering a little." I
Fevering.
said, "I'm not feeling very well. Like, do you mind just telling me funny stories?"
So in the back of my head, I'm thinking she's going to be high maintenance already. First date, fevering. And this as well.
I
Who
said,
does
"I'm
that?
fevering."
Who actually does that? That's
When
from.
you're fevering,
You
you
no
don't
one
do
does that in real life. It's from like a 20s film. You go, "Oh, I'm gonna faint." No one does that in real
Gotta
life.
check your forehead to see if you're
Who
hot.
does that?
I do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're in the restaurant and I'm going, well, she's going to be very high maintenance. She does this when she's ill. Who does that apart from in the film? See?
I
Still does
was
it.
fevering.
I'm fevering. Tell me some stories to...
I said, could you, because I'm not feeling very well, I'm fevering, so do you mind telling me some stories?
Yes.
And you did. And
I
what's the
did.
first story you told me?
Well,
I'll never forget it.
I told you about
Mr.
Mr.
Asif.
Mr. and Mrs. Asif.
Mr. and Mrs. Asif.
And I love the way she said Asif. Because there's a certain way you say
Mr.
it.
Asif.
There you go. It still happens.
Mr. Asif.
I like it. Mr. Asif, yeah.
I say it the exact same
You
way
don't.
you do.
No, you don't.
Mr. and Mrs. Asif.
Now I say Mr. and Mrs. Asif. See?
Asif.
It's different. You have a little whistle when you do Mr. You say like this. Mr. Receipt.
I do
Not exactly
do
like
that.
Not exactly like that, but very slightly.
You make me sound like the pedophile from Family Guy.
Oh yeah. No, you're definitely not a pedophile from Family Guy. So anyway, so I like the way she says Mr.
Is that Family Guy?
Yes, the old guy.
Right?
Yes.
That's exactly how he talks.
Chris, come over here. Yeah, it is. It is. Chris. Ah! Chris. No. No! No, my lovely jacket. No. I'm dressed up for the vlog. Please. No! Jesus! That looked like ejaculation. Oh, sick!
Did you just say it looked like an ejaculation?
Yes, it did. When you did it like that, I'm going to get a tissue.
Wait, come on, you're fine. It's just water.
Okay. But
So then what?
It's also gob. Okay, so then I tell her about Mr. and Mrs. Asif. Now, Mr. Asif owned a store at the end of my road. And he was famous between me and my friends because no matter what you would ask for, Mr. Asif would say, anything else? Anything else? So you'd go in and you'd say, I have some tissues and a water. Tissues and water? Anything else? So we would try and get him, we had a game to try and get him to not say anything else. So we would go into the store and say, a packet of cigarettes and nothing else. And he would go, anything else? And it was like a standoff. But anyway, so I told her about Mr. Asif and Mrs. Asif. She liked that story.
Nothing else.
And nothing else.
Yeah, so I was really laughing at that.
Yeah, she laughed. So that was good.
And then I think you said, you probably told me some other stories. You were really good. You kept telling funny stories.
I did.
It was really fun.
Yeah. And I thought this is going well because she's laughing. If you're a gentleman out there and you take a lady on a date, laughing's a good sign.
Yeah, and then the waitress comes over and I was like talking, because you know how I talk with my hands, so I'm very like, yes, and then I know, and then this. So I was like, oh my God, and I just knocked her. I didn't see her behind us, and she had all this big, like all these sauces, like sauce,
All
and I just
over
went,
herself.
and it went all over her, and she's full of sauce.
She was sauce covered.
She was just like,
she was like a sauce woman. And she went like that. That's exactly what she did. She wasn't even like gonna let you off the. She was angry.
oh yeah, I got sauce all over her.
So yeah, then that happened, and then what else? It was a nice time, even though I kept getting. Oh, I need.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was like he really told a lot of funny stories, and it was great. And I wasn't feeling well, and I spilled the sauce, and she was making me laugh. So it was all good, even though we had to look at a bunch of dead fish in front of us. And then we finish up dinner, right? I gotta go get back to work, starting my lines for the table read. So Steeven and I walk out, and Steeven said, I'm just gonna use the restroom, I'll be right back. And what did you do in the restroom?
Don't tell him that, it's
No,
embarrassing.
come on, you have to. It's the first date story.
Gentlemen might know this, and women might even know this. You know when you go into a bath and you go into a restroom and you give yourself a pep talk in the mirror, and you go, you could do this, you could do this. Anyone do that? Do you do that?
No. I've done it before at like work meetings and stuff.
I wouldn't.
Like if I'm going to pitch a show or just if I have a high pressure work meeting, I'll go into the bathroom and I'll do this.
Oh yeah.
And I'll just stand there like this.
I wish I'd done that.
Because it's like the power position. It's supposed to raise your confidence level.
Is it?
So yeah, so you just stand there like this.
Well, I wish I'd done that in this
I saw
situation.
a TED talk on it, and you just go,
Oh.
you can do this.
I'm gonna try that.
Smart. I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. And then someone comes out of the stall. And
Well,
I'm
that's
like,
what happened. Someone did come out of the
Okay.
store. I was like, you could do this, you could do
Were you
this.
talking out loud?
Yes. Not loud. Whispered.
It was just like, you can do this.
Yeah, I was talking about the kiss. I was thinking, I gotta go for the kiss.
So he's thinking about the kiss. And he's pep talking himself.
I'd never
with the
been
kiss.
so nervous in my whole life about the kiss ever. Never been so nervous, and I really was like freaking out. So I went to the bathroom, doing the pep talk in the mirror to myself, and someone did come out of the stall. So that was embarrassing. And he kind of looked at me like that.
And then we get outside, and the valet guy gets our car, and as we're waiting for the car, Steeven looks at me and he goes, "Can I kiss you?"
I didn't sound like Robin Hood.
How did you say it?
I did say it like that, yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know what to say because I'm not that smooth. So I really didn't know what to say.
Tell her what you said.
And so I said, what do you think?
What do you think? Which makes me think, well, that's confusing.
Yeah, I
huh?
confused him.
Confusing.
I didn't know what to say, so I was just like, what do you think?
You thought it was all
I was trying to be smooth, but I don't know. And then Steeven,
what do you think? And then I was like, well, I don't know.
and then you're like, I'm not sure, that's why I asked you.
Exactly, that's why I asked her.
I'm really racking my brain. But it was kind of like I was trying to say, you just go in for it.
Right. Well, then I did. Very confidently. Strided in for the kiss.
Not even a little
Confidence.
bit. He was shaking like
Wasn't
a leaf.
shaking.
He was shaking like a
I
leaf.
was confident. I confidently took
He was
charge of the
literally,
situation.
I'll never forget,
Oh.
his lips were trembling.
Don't make me sound
His
like
little hands were trembling.
Don't.
He was literally
That's not true.
so nervous
Nope.
and shaking.
Confident.
And I remember that it was
Misremembering.
the softest, sweetest, very gentle
It was, wasn't it?
kiss.
See? That
There was
bit's
no
true.
tongue. There was no.
All right, that's enough
Okay.
now. I get the impression.
There was none of that. It was just very just.
Yes.
And we kind of held it.
Yeah. That bit's accurate. The bit about me shaking, that's not true.
No, his lips were shaking.
They
I
weren't.
remember.
Whose lips shake? No one's lips
Yours
shake.
did at that time. And you were like, "Can I kiss you?" And then when the car came, and that was it.
That was it.
He dropped me off. He walked me
I did.
to the door, to my apartment door.
I think I had another kiss there, didn't we? A little
I'm
one?
not sure. That I don't remember.
I remember leaving going, I don't know how that well, I hope that went well, but she's a mystery woman.
And that was our first date.
That's the first date.
Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Oh, really, really exciting.
Ooh.
This sweatshirt, guys, which I've been living in, is on sale. It's only
Again.
available for the next 10 days. So click the link in the description below. There will be a link. You can get not only this sweatshirt or t-shirt, okay, limited edition. I'm obsessed with it. But also there's a Valentine's Day card that's only available for the next 2.5 days, okay? Yeah. So it's the same design
as
can you
this.
sit up a little?
This, remember her?
It's the same design as this.
But
It's
different
this
pickup
picture,
line.
but it's you know the song yesterday. Did you sit in a pile of sugar because you've got a pretty sweet ass? That's the pickup line on the Valentine's Day card.
It's a Valentine's Day
So
pickup
get
line.
it for your Valentine. It's
Yeah.
only available for really by the time we post this video, 2 days.
2 days.
So you can get the card and you can get the sweatshirt. I mean, the t-shirt's available too. I'm just like obsessed with the sweatshirt and it's February, so I feel like sweatshirts are.
And they'll get it for Valentine's Day, even though it's a bit weird on the website.
Oh
right?
yeah, everything will. The card you'll get before Valentine's Day, and then the sweatshirt and T-shirt I think you'll get just a little bit after. But the card is the most important part for Valentine's
It is
Day,
the most
and you
important
will get that
Valentine's
guaranteed. Love you all.
Love you.
Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Get your sweatshirt, T-shirt, and card today. Link below. Love you guys.
Sweet ass.